Sales, profit, and engagement na naman ang usapan. Hey guys, Matt and Lance here. Corporate guys rin kami at pagod na rin kami sa ganyang usapang office. Ibahin naman natin ang mga kausap natin. Listen to guests from careers beyond the corporate scene with the Project Offbeat Career Podcast. Imagine talking to historians, gamers, teachers, and the like on how they live differently and succeed in their unconventional careers. Baka sakali, ito naman ang sign to pursue your passions. Kita-kits sa Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
Hi, this episode is not suitable for everyone. Parental guidance is advised. We are Bunk Collective.
You make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. Come on, wild thing.
Welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. And this is the MTV Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. Ayan na, oh shoot. Hindi pala. Ayan, putang na. Kaya pala na-realize ko na hindi pala nakaset up pa yung mic ko. So, my apologies for that, okay? So, please welcome to the show. And I'm really sorry for the longer, long delay of this specific episode since I processed myself. I processed everything wrestling as well. We're going to try to cap off until the Sunday collision, okay? So, susubukan natin yun gawin in this episode. So, please bear with me. Hindi ko na nga gaano hahabaan yung review ko sa dalawang pay-per-view. So, we're going to process both All Out at saka Payback na magkasunod this year. Pero sa totoo lang, alam nyo, I want to give my opinion on this. Maganda ba sa inyo yung back-to-back na pay-per-views ni WWE tsaka ni AEW na in a way, substantial, malaking bagay siya sa iba. Pero yung sa mga gumagawa ng content na ganito, ewan ko kung maganda ba siya. Let me know nga kung maganda. Kasi ako daw, di ako sanay sa ganito, di ako nagagandahan sa ganitong practice. Yes, the idea of WWE PLEs is on a Saturday is a good idea to begin with kasi maraming nanonood ng PLEs pag Sundays dito sa Pilipinas. Pero yung Mondays, hindi kasi ako sure kasi wala naman siguro a-absent pag ganyan. And ewan ko, may mga nag-a-absent pa sa trabaho para lang manood ng mga ganito. Yung off ko kasi, buti na lang, is Sunday, Monday. So, probably, yung mga ganitong eksena, hindi na bago to. Pero ito pa rin, gusto ko pa rin magbigay ng opinion na hindi talaga practical na gawin back-to-back yung mga pay-per-views ni WWE tsaka ni AEW na Monday, Sunday, Monday, back-to-back. Hindi siya practical. Siguro, ginawa lang naman na sa Sunday ng AEW yung mga pay-per-views nila. It's because of collision. Yun lang naman. Pero ang full gear ibabalik ng Saturday, which is a good thing to me. And I wish they're going to do it all good. No? So, in transparency mode of both shows, I watched this on Disney Plus, so it's kind of frustrating while we're dealing with Payback. The feed of WWE Payback almost fucked up for almost 1.5 hour sa Disney Plus. So Disney Plus is not that good on that day. This is the first time since the what I call this. I think it's the first time since Survivor Series 2023, 2022 na ganito kalala yung delay ng Survivor Series. And hindi ko siya in-expect. Pero in-expect ko na may disaster na mangyayari. Na hindi maganda. So yun, tinataasan ko ulit yung expectation ko towards Disney Plus kasi Disney Plus is having this good time or bad times na I wish na talaga hindi na maulit to sa mga susunod na shows. But it's kind of funny to me that we're still dealing with this. Na halos isang taon na we're still dealing with that. It's kind of disappointing. Dagdag na rin natin ha. Habang tumatagal tayo sa Disney Plus, habang tumatagal tayo na mag-deal sa Disney Plus for our WWE content, I wish though na lagay na nga rin nila yung Tagalog commentary. Wala naman tayong mga nakukuha Tagalog content sa Disney Plus. Lagay nyo man lang ng Tagalog commentary yung WWE Network content natin. Kasi yung kapitbahay natin na Indonesia na may WWE din sa Disney Plus, hindi sila naiiwan when it comes to the WWE content. So, it's kind of disappointing to me that here in the Philippines sa pag-iiwanan tayo. And lalo na't sarado na ang WWE Network dito, it's kind of just sad. No? It's just sad to me to think na to the point na WWE is just letting this bullshit happen. And like what I said, business is business. Pero wala eh. Parang we're doomed of everything, like the move of the network to Disney Plus, and then the loss of the rights of AEW here in the Philippines. Nawala na siya sa top, so therefore wala nang pay-per-view sa top ng AEW, and di natin tayo makapanood ng weekly na AEW show sa top since I think they are now exclusivized the WWE content on their service. So that's why one of the factors na hindi na sila nag-retain ng AEW. But okay, start tayo with the WWE Payback. As always, hindi naman tayo gagawa ng review. I-note na lang natin ngayon. I'm trying to deal with this, no? Sobrang nakakatamad din kasi gumawa ng review. So, umpisahan natin yung review sa recap ng mga matches na nangyari throughout the night. Okay? Alam ko late na to, pero wala tayong choice eh. Ayan, so recap natin lahat na nangyari sa WWE Payback. So let's start with Becky Lynch beating Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. Ito, to me this is easily one of the best matches ni Trish Stratus inside a WWE. O kaya sa run niya ngayon sa WWE. This is easily one of the best matches of her. Ito. So we have LA Knight beating The Miz. Okay lang. Okay lang. I have no high expectations on this. So medyo, ano lang siya. Medyo, wala naman ako ganong expectation. But I think, ang nagpapadala lang talaga dito, it's the intensity of both of them during promos. And yung ganda din kasi ng chemistry na dalawa. So, Miz is just working his ass out and I'm good at it. LA Knight is rising to the top of the WWE and good at it. Okay, so let's continue. Rey Mysterio defeated Austin Theory by pinfall. Ito din, sa din match to na wala akong expectations. And wala rin akong ganong comment. Siguro ang gusto ko lang talaga mangyari down the line is just Santos Escobar betraying Rey Mysterio. So therefore, we can get a one-on-one again between the two members of LWO, or maybe just a friendly match between two LWO members. Okay. 4. We have Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest defeating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a Steel City street fight for the undisputed tag titles. Eto ang hot take ko dito, sobrang on point ng win na to. Kasi they are heavily promoting WWE Payback as the Judgment Day's pay-per-view or PLE. PLE, PPV na naman tayo. Pero ito sobrang heavy kasi ng pag-advertise nila nito as a PLE na sa tingin ko dito na magse-center yung yung what I call this. Tawag ko dito. Yung mag-center na yung domination ng Judgment Day, replacing Bloodline in the process as the most dominant stable in the WWE. And wala na yun. Nagkakalas-kalas na yung Bloodline, tapos sasabihin nyo pa na dominant pa rin sila. Ano kayo? Tanga? Okay, ayan. So, mamaya pag-usapan natin in further in details itong match na to and yung mga thoughts ko dito sa specific match na to. Okay, so Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel Rodriguez by pinfall ito. Ewan ko parang masyado ko nahabaan dito. I really love both of them. Pero medyo nahabaan ako ng sobra. Parang ang slow. Ewan ko, it's just me that sobrang hindi talaga ako impressed kay Raquel Andes. As much as I love her, pero wala sobrang hindi ako impressed kay Raquel. Raquel is just sobrang di talaga ako parang na-off ako a little kay Raquel Andes. Okay. So, Seth Rollins defeated Shinsuke Nakamura for the main event match. Eto, yung ito kay Raquel naman, ano bang tawag ko dito? Kay Nakamura. Parang alam mo yon na hindi siya climatic in a way. Yung ending niya hindi climatic, pero they give us a really good match regarding on that. No? So, dito din nag-umpisa dito rin nag-return si Jey Uso. Yung Grayson Waller effect featuring Cody Rhodes. This was the first appearance of Jey Uso as well down the line. And then, ayan na nga, nag-umpisa na yung separate storylines ng Bloodline members na si Jamie at Jey Uso. So, most likely, they're going to feud for WrestleMania, no? Ganun lang naman yung madalas na gawin nila Alam niyo na yung nangyari kina Dom at saka kay Ray before. Ganito rin ang abutin natin yan. Which is a very typical WWE cliche. Okay. So, let's do the process for reviewing some of the matches of the card. So, let's start with the Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. I think the whole presentation of this feud was really solid. Ang alam mo yun, ang isang concern ko lang about this feud or sa coverage when it comes to what we got sa coverage is medyo ang lukewarm kasi ng presentation talaga ni Disney Plus when it comes to it. If you think about it, yung what I call this, yung pagbato kasi nila ng read about WWE sa mga ganitong build-ups, yung mga build-ups buti naman kahit paano napapakita naman nila. Pero I'm still disappointed on how they're cutting up things up dito. So I'm very critical on that. Pero let's go back to the Seth Nakamura feud. I think ito that was really solid din. Pero hindi naman sa umaabot sa punto na sobrang solid ito. Pero it was a good solid feud. Na kahit alam mong hindi one time off, parang alam mo hindi ka mauumay on it. So that's why I'm really love Seth Nakamura feud. Okay, continue natin. Hindi siya climatic in a way. Yung climatic lang naman ito is the ending. Yung nangyari after the match. Pero yun, the match itself was so good. Ang alam mo yun, ang naging problema ko lang talaga. I was really hoping to see Nakamura winning the belt. Since nandun si Kenji Muto, the Great Muta. Anong ginawa niya dyan manood para matalo si Nakamura? Kaya alam mo yun, nakakagago yun. No offense No offense. Nakakagago yung ganun. Na, ano. Pinapunta nila si Muto para lang panoorin si Nakamura patalo. Justified sana sa akin if Muto was there to see Nakamura winning his first WWE Championship. Hindi eh. Iba yung case dito eh. Parang pinapunta lang nila si Muto doon para mapanood si what I call this, para panoorin si Nakamurang matalo. It's kind of funny at the same time. I know things are running around in the WWE. Pero it's kind of funny pa din to think na, ha? Ba't nandito to? Andun tayo sa point na, ha? Bakit nandito to? Gusto niya bang matatalo na naman ba si Seth? Andun na ako sa part na matatalo talaga si Seth. It's very given eh. Pero yung it's just funny man, this part. Ayan. Pero yun, the match was good. Solid back and forths from both Nakamura and Seth. Ag-expect ako ng isa pang match sa Fastlane since nagkaroon nga ng post-match assault after the PLE. And I wish this time they are going to let Nakamura win this. Pero mababa yung expectation ko sa WWE kaya I doubt they're going to give Nakamura about or maybe a long reign kasi may Damian Priest na nag-lurk on the back but I wish matalo din siya. We will talk about that later. Okay, so let's talk about Rhea Ripley and Raquel. Alam mo itong match na to. As much as I love, as I said earlier, as much as I love Rhea Ripley and Raquel, parang ito yung something na hindi ko nagustuhan. May mga parts na maganda, sure. May mga maganda rin naman. Pero alam nyo kasi, yung dalawa, maganda yung chemistry nila. Pakatotoo na tayo dyan. Check na yun. Pero ang problema kasi sometimes the chemistry is not clicking out on them. And si Raquel kasi parang hindi pa rin ako impressed na ganito pa rin yung character niya. Parang wala pa rin siyang revolution sa character niya. I wish Raquel this time, magkaroon naman siya ng evolution when it comes to the character. Wala eh. Hindi pa rin natin makilty yung, hindi ko pa rin kumikilty sa akin kung ano yung character na meron siya. Anong character mo? Patibong? Hindi. Seryoso parang wala pa rin character si Raquel sa akin. At hindi pa din talaga klaro sa akin kung ano yung mga pinagkagawa nitong na character work. Pero, it's still not bad. The match was that bad. In a way na hindi naman CM Punk bad. But yeah, it was a solid match. Pero I'm not having the high expectations on it. Hindi naman sobrang taas. Pero yun, I think the Raquel Rhea is not that bad. Okay, move on na tayo sa Nakamura. Ay, Nakamura tuloy. Move on na tayo sa KO Sami tapos Judgment Day feud. I want to talk three points on this. Number one, maganda sa akin na nanalo sila Finn at saka si Damian kasi parang ito na yung magsisemento sa Judgment Day talaga as a solid stable in the WWE. Na sa tingin natin, pwede na mag-replace sa Bloodline as the top stable of the WWE. And I'm good at it. Kasi naman, Bloodline is not that active anymore. Hindi na gano'ng gumugulong yung storyline. Gumugulong man, pero slow. And medyo nakaka-off na rin yung iba. Mamaya pag-usapan natin yung iba din. Pag-usapan natin. Yun. Yung the way they're building the Bloodline, parang lukewarm na. Umabot tayo sa point na, fuck this shit. Anong ganun ba? Umabot na tayo sa point na ganyan. Pero I'm still impressed on what they're trying to pull out here. Eto, the match itself between Judgment Day and KO Sami was that impressive. Medyo ang concern ko lang is yung constant interference, which is very Judgment Day thing, which kind of good to me. Second point here, gusto ko mapag-usapan yung mga elephant in the room muna. Yung elephant in the room na gustong-gusto nila na mapag-split yung Judgment Day as well as KO and Sami, no? Number one, sila Damian Priest at Kevin Owens. Damian Priest at Finn Balor. Ano yan, meant to be na mag-split na tong mga to eh. No? Parang meant to be na. Nakaset na siya. Ginawa lang nila yung payback para lang magkaroon ng special moment. Pero I think meant to be na. Meant to be na mag-split up na rin down the road ang Judgment Day. At least Damian Priest and Balor, Damian Priest will be kicked out of the Judgment Day. And yung briefcase niya based of this week's Raw, parang minapulate na siya nila JD McDonough and Finn Balor. Parang it's kind of way na nagsasabukatan na sila. And yung parang pagiging unofficial member ng JD McDonough is more presented na on this PLE, which is a good thing to me. Yung briefcase as of this week's Raw, they gave Damian Priest a customized Money in the Bank briefcase. Andun yung senior Money in the Bank and a violet briefcase. And yung kutob ko dito is medyo same sa iba na nakikinig kung mga nag-survey sa internet. Excuse me. Medyo same yung kutob ko na baka yung original contract is nandun sa green na Money in the Bank na possible hawak ng Judgment Day. So medyo, in a way, i-betray nila si Priest doon. Pero in Money in the Bank naman, di ba dapat typically di naman pinapakita kung yung laman ng briefcase bago mag-cash in. Kaya medyo, kailangan natin ng medyo detalyadong explanation why we're getting 2 briefcases now in Judgment Day. Medyo kailangan natin ng explanation. I wish WWE can give us explanation if ever they're going to kick out Priest out of it. I wish we can get an explanation more. Now, number 2.2. Let's talk about KO and Sami possibly splitting up again. Alam nyo, ang take ko talaga kay Sami at kay KO, they are always better as solo wrestlers. Mas angat talaga sila doon. They're good as a team, pero mas angat talaga si Sami at si KO as solid solo competitors. Parehas sila. In a way. Yung mga naghahangad pa din na maging world champion si Sami, medyo babaan nyo muna yung expectation nyo. Kasi it's kind of disappointing na I'm still seeing people in the internet na thinking, bakit si Sami hindi pa rin world champion? Why is Sami still not a world champion? Shut up! Everyone is actually thinking the same thing. But you don't have to expect a lot when it comes to it. Always remember, the reality will always slap you in the face. Pag sa una, kailangan mo ramdamin. Pangalawa, that's a slap of reality. Kasi iba na yung pakiramdam na pag sinampal ka pa ng pangatlo, baka 2 por 2 na ihampa sa'yo. Ganun lang yun. Kasi kaya minsan, yung mga tao dyan, yung mga kala mo yung mga analyst, yung mga kala mo may alam, umayos naman kayo. Putragis kayo. Minsan naman, mag-overthink naman kayo. Minsan, use your mind. Kasi in the end of the day, andyan yung utak mo. Parang mag-overthink ka masyado. Andyan din yung utak mo para mag-isip ka. Hindi dahil gusto mo, hindi dahil desisyon mo. Hindi naman kasalat. Napapalayo na ako, pero going back, masyado na tayo napapalayo. Pero going back nga rin, kina Sami at KO. Si Sami at KO, I'm always saying this on the show. Medyo kailangan ko lang ulit bigyan ng pot point, no? Na Sami and KO will always be better as solos. Parang, ito magko-compare nga tayo. Yung mga nasa K-pop world dyan. Gusto ko malaman nyo kung yung take nyo dito. Si Somi, si Chungha, tsaka si Sejong, 3 members ng IOI. Parang before, parang in a way, nagsasapawan sila. Ganon yung impression natin dyan. Ganyan din kay KO at kay Sami. Buti ka mo, yung tatlong idol na yun, nag-workout sila in a way na hindi talaga sila magsapawan sa role sila. Because that's what they're good at. Ganyan din sila kay Yacht Sam. Pero, in a way, nagsasapawan pa rin eh. May sapawan pa rin na moment yan eh. Pero sige, in a way din kasi, people are still complaining about what they're getting on Sammy. Kasi paminsan-minsan, you should listen, you should watch, and you should think as well. Kasi pagbalik mo, baka sinasampal ka na lang basta-basta. Minsan kasi, kailangan mo rin gumising. Minsan, kailangan mo din mag-isip. At minsan, kailangan mo rin magtaka. Bakit ang tanga mo? Yun lang yun. Paminsan-minsan kasi, hindi pwede na pupunta ka lang doon. Wala kang picture. Siyempre, kailangan mo magdala. Magpapakita ka ng yabang, tapos wala namang impression na maganda. Parang ang tanga. Hindi. Anyways, segue na tayo. Putang ina, napapalayo na tayo eh. Yung mga ganitong bagay kasi, minsan kasi, mga ganyang bagay, totoo lang, segue lang ako ng konti. Okay lang sa inyo. Ako kasi, totoo lang, bago natin ibalik kay Keo at kay Sammy, ha? Hindi ako mahilig manguha ng picture. Total, nandiyan na rin tayo sa subject eh. Kaya ako, Keo na naman niya sasabi ko. Ako, sa totoo lang, sobrang rare ko mag-picture ng mukha ko. Hindi naman sa podcast, kahit sa personal life ko na, no? Sobrang bihira kong kumuha ng picture. Hindi naman dahil pangit ako. Hindi naman dahil ayoko. Meron talaga akong afterthought na it's either impressive ba to? Sure ba ako dito? Sinasabi ko na nga hindi na nga maganda mukha ako. Syempre, bumawi ka na lang sa kung meron ka. Pero in a way naman na wag ka naman magpapampam na pumunta ka sa ganito, pumunta ka sa ganyan, pumunta ka sa doon, as wala kang proof sa amin, parang ang sus pa ng iba mo, kulang na lang, sabihin mo sarili mo, proud ako nagsisinungaling ako. Ako ba? Nakita niya ba magsinungaling? Hindi naman masyado. Pero ayun niya, kung magsisinungaling ka, galingan mo. Ganun lang. Kung anong gusto mo ipakita sa iba, wag mo papakita sa amin. Kasi hindi naman ako sinungaling. Hindi naman natin kailangan ano ba tawag dito? Hindi naman natin kailangan magpagalingan magsinungaling. Pero putangin na ito, ginalingan mo. Seryoso. Wala namang pinapatamaan tao dito. Pero sana naman, maging aware ka sa sarili mo na if you want na magsinungaling, gusto mo magsinungaling, gagalingan mo. Kasi nahuhuli ka eh. Kung gusto mo magsinungaling, konting galing pa. Siguro, wag ka magpapahuli. Wag ka lang magpapahuli. Yun lang yun. Pag nagpahuli ka, talo ka. Kasi, ina-expose mo lang yung sarili mo. In a way eh. Pero, last point na. Pero baka naman kasi, kung gusto nyo magsinungaling, gagalingan nyo. Ha? Gagalingan nyo. Kasi, maraming may utak. Marami ding may alam. Marami din namang dito. Marami din naman nakikinig dito. Nakikinig din sa iba mga podcast dito. So, syempre, possibly, aware kayo. No? Pero, sinasabi ko sa inyo, maliit lang ang mundo. Malalaman din natin o malalaman din ng iba sa inyo kung nagsisinungaling ka ba o hindi. Eto, baka sabihin nyo naman, sinungaling naman ako, plastic din naman ako. Ugali nyo yan eh. Syempre, opinion nyo yan. Syempre, sabihin nyo, sinungaling ako. Ganun lang yun, di ba? Pero syempre, ano na naman sasabihin nyo dyan? Masama na naman ako. O iba na naman ako. O ano na sabihin ko? Hindi. Kasi you people, parang nagpapakonvince kayo eh na, pumunta ako ng London kasi gusto ko, ma-flex ko ito. Ay! Dudulas ako. Sorry. Hindi ko dapat sinabi yan. Pero, in a sense, guys, just a message from yours truly. Guys, ang pagsisinungaling, mali na yan. Alam niyo yan. Kaya nga hindi tayo bias sa mga shows na show reviews natin. Kasi alam niyo yung what I call this, alam niyo yung ethic na wag kang magsisinungaling. sa journalist pa lang, sa mga journalist things pa lang. Alam na natin dapat na number one rule, huwag ka magsisinungaling sa report. At huwag ka rin magsisinungaling sa mga content na ginagawa mo. Kasi pag nagsinungaling ka sa content na ginagawa mo, it means niloloko mo yung sarili mo. Niloloko mo rin yung mga listeners o viewers mo. Mas malala pa kung pati mukha mo kita na may proving na nagsisinungaling ka. Mas nakakahiya yun. Pick a struggle. Gusto mo ba sumikat ka dahil sinungaling ka? O gusto mo bang sumikat ka dahil totoo ka? That's what I'm pertaining here. Kung gusto nyo mag-pick a struggle here, bahala ka. Wala mo mapakialam. Basta magtiwala ka sa sarili mo process. Like, start a new hobby. Kung gusto mo sabihin, nagjajakol ka araw-araw, sige, sabihin mo, wala akong pakialam. Basta wag ka lang magsisinungaling. At as long as proud ka sa sarili mong katangahan, I'm good at it. Pasaluduhan pa kita. Totoo lang. Ayun, papalayo na ako sa topic. Sige na nga, going back to Sammy and Keyo. Sammy at Keyo, hindi naman talaga sila meant to be na, tawag dito, hindi naman talaga sila meant to be na tag team. Sige, explain na lang natin ng mas matindi. Sammy and Keyo are not that perfect when it comes to their tag team chemistry. Ang ano ko lang naman dyan, pag si Keyo kasi, mas magaling sa singles. Minsan, mas magaling si Sammy sa tags. Si Keyo, may mga times na magaling din mag-tag. Mas magaling, pero mas magaling siya mag-solo. Si Sammy, iba din. Iba rin yung chemistry niya. At charisma niya, iba din. Kaya lang, wag nyo sanang pagpilitan na maging world champion si Sammy. Masyado naman tayong too much on that. Sana naman, sagad-sagaran niyo para ng expectations niyo. Even though it's a WWE thing. But, like what I said, set your expectations high and low. Kasi, iba pa rin eh. Di ba? Ayun. So, yun lang naman sa amin kayo, sabi ko dito, hindi naman talaga sila meant to be as tag team. Hindi sila nag-workout in a way. Pero, they're good, I admit, they're good. Pero, Priest and Balor, they're not good as tag teams either. So, make a struggle, I guess. Hindi naman. Pero parehas lang sila na hindi tag team worthy. Yan na, sinasabi ko para hindi ako bias Sammy and Keyo, tsaka si Balor at si Priest, parehas silang hindi tag team worthy. Or di tag team worthy na, ano ba tawag dito? Pwede mo talagang i-pair kahit sino. Nag-workout. Hindi. Iba yung case na lang 4. Pero ito regarding on that takes, they're all good in their own different ways. May iba pa nga nagsasabi na may mas nag-workout daw sila in a way na ganito yung presentation nila. And medyo nag-agree naman ako. At somehow, di rin ako nag-agree. Pero yun, going back na nga, medyo mahaba na rin yung take ko dito. Pangatlo, let's face it, di naman tatagal yung domination ng ng stable na to. Hindi ito tatagal ng 4 na linggo hanggang past lane lang to. Most likely hanggang crown jewel. Pero kung sino yung unang matatalo, feeling ko si Dom. If ever, sino makakatalo kay Dom? Yan ang gusto kong alamin in the coming weeks. Mahaba pa naman ang build-up papuntang No Mercy. Pero for sure, Dominic is the one na unang matatalo sa Judgment Day. Kung manalo man siya, the goods. Pero feeling ko JD, si Ballard, si Priest pa rin talaga ang unang matatalo. Pero si Priest, si Dom kasi may Rhea pa eh. Kaya medyo may factor pa. At least yung dalawa parang stick to one. Etong dalawa, si Priest at si Balor, mayroon ng paramdaman na possible mag-split, possible din magkasundo. Ando na tayo eh. Kaya may chance din talaga na baka down the line o within their feud, hindi rin talaga sila magkasundo. Yun lang naman. Pero ito, the match itself, the street fight was a fun match. Ganito yung, WWE Ganito yung hardcore. Medyo may pagkaganito sana. Mga hardcores nyo. Pucha yung binok nyo sa Fox during the Bray Wyatt and the Terry Punk tribute. medyo offended ako dun. Kasi yung hardcore, di naman hardcore. Pero pinapalagpas ko na rin yun kasi sa tribute show naman. So medyo kailangan ko na siya palagpasin. Yan. Ayun, well deserved to Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Pero hindi naman tatagal to for sure. Last thing, we want to talk about Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. Eto, they're done on their feud. Also, so we Stark betrayed Trish after nito. Si Zoe is now turning as a babyface, no? Zoe is now turning as babyface na. And, yep, she's turning as a babyface. And she might to team with Shayna Baszler for a tag team. Possible yun, di ba? Pero yeah, magkakaalaman tayo in the next day. Maraming pwede pa mangyari, no? Okay. So, pag-usapan na rin natin yung mga nangyari sa... Okay, pag-usapan na rin natin yung Jey Uso, which is, nag-return kasi siya ng SmackDown, no? Ito gusto ko ibigyan ng detail to. Si Jey, nag-return sa Raw, and then, he was revealed by Cody Rhodes as the newest member of Raw by Cody during the Grayson Waller effect. And ito yung explanation. Medyo may explanation dito. Basahin natin yung explanation. Si Jey Uso returned on Raw, and si Cody kasi had called him and sa ba tawag dito? Nag-return siya sa Raw. Alam niyo yung history naman sila meron niya. Pero ang weird din kasi na pag-move niya sa Raw. Then Sami Zayn may history kay Jey Uso and sa Bloodline din. Ayun. So Sami Zayn said na he's proud of Jey being broke free from the Bloodline, and tawag dito? Parang sa una parang ayaw niya eh. Medyo sa una ayaw ni tawag dito. Sa una ayaw ni Jey, no? Pero Zayn left, Jey Uso called him back. Nag-reference sila ng joke before. And ayun, offered the handshake. However, meron flashbacks na nangyayari after ito. Si Drew McIntyre, parang wala pa rin siyang tiwala kay Jey na ganito, nagbago na siya. Parang wala pa rin siyang tiwala. Medyo nakalata pa rin yung flashback sa mga feuds sila before. And it was revealed by Adam Pearce that a member of WWE roster or Raw roster will be traded to SmackDown. So parang equals na siya. Pero hindi pa siya nare-reveal, no? Pero feeling ko naman, it's Cody Rhodes naman. Kasi Cody Rhodes is gunning for the WWE Championship. And I don't think that there's any way na pagsama mo si Seth at si Cody as two top guys of the show. And so that's why parang ilalagay na rin nila si Cody at the process sa SmackDown. So therefore, ma-feel yung gap na tinanggal ngayon kay sino nga itong top guy ng SD. Maybe sige, let's set it to Roman in de facto. Pero wala na eh, nandiyan na ulit si Cody. So Cody technically can replace Roman as the de facto top face of Fed. Okay, so wala pa kung sino yung hindi pa na-find out kung sino yung na-trade for Jey sa Raw. Mamaya naman malalaman din naman natin down the road. Pero yun, also, on SmackDown, si Nakamura, he said na he will win the World Heavyweight title. And ayun nga, sinabi ko na nga yung rematch na gusto ni Nakamura. Ayun. Ganun, puta ka ng katil na likod ko. Ayun, basta yun. Medyo may Nakamura pa din. And sana naman this time, manalo na siya. Ayun. Continue natin. Itong tawag dito, puta ka ng katil ng anit ko. Sinabi ko na kanina na yung Judgment Day, si JD McDonough talaga yung magdadala ng bagong identity dito. Like yung pag-present ng purple briefcase, parang medyo ano na siya, medyo explanatory na siya na kung ano yung mangyayari. Ano ba tawag dito? Medyo explanatory na yung mangyayari sa Judgment Day after ito. After itong medyo pa-segue ni JD. Ito naman talaga yung way na pinapresentan nila si JD as a member of Judgment Day. Pero yeah, we'll find out that on later in the later course. Pero yan, ano pa ba? So yun lang naman. So we're having ito medyo ang weirdo sa akin. Miz is now feuding with Cena again. Miz is feuding with Cena again and medyo it's either nawiwirduhan ako and ha? May reference kasi sila sa You Can See Me. Medyo nakakatawa siya. And tawag dito. May something na they're building up something here. Medyo may reference pa din talaga sa You Can See Me joke. Pero yun, malalaman natin later on na kung naman yung mangyayari sa mga to. For sure naman, si Cena will work out on the Crown Jewel PLE since May, November PLE sila before dito, before the Saudi thing. Before Survivor Series, meron pa silang gap for Survivor or Crown Jewel, for sure. Pero yan, yun lang naman. Yun lang ang thoughts ko for WWE Payback. Medyo napahaba, pasensya na. Pero, ayan. Kung ano yung masasabi niyo sa WWE Payback, let me know. Kasi di ko nagisa lahat, no? Di ko na nabigyan ng punto lahat ng PLE, ng matches o points ko dito. Pero I think the whole PLE was really good. Disney Plus was the only one who thinks or they are ruining everything on it. And I think that was a really good payback. Pero I think naman na WWE, in a way, they can present a really good, solid PLE. Ang concern ko lang talaga regarding on this was on the way they are presenting, ano ba tawag dito? On the way na na-feel natin na, ano ba tawag dito? On the way they presented Payback, it's a very special moment. Kasi number one, walang Roman Reigns sa card. Wala ring bloodline sa card. Kaya nakakapanibago. Number two, the whole card was centered to bloodline, to the Judgment Day. So that's why parang special talaga. And hindi naman ako gano'n nag-expect na special moment sa Judgment Day dito. But well, we got a good moment of it. Pero that was a solid PLE if you ask me. Pero I'm not going to... Kung may tatlong shows na nangyayari back to back, I won't choose Payback as my best PLE. No? Ayan. Next on the show, as we go to a commercial break, as we check our other bunkmates here, let's do the review for All Out. Same thing. Ganun din ang gagawin natin. We're going to give the top things of the show and of course, the recap of the show. Okay? So, for now, let's check our bunkmates on Bunk Collect.
Annyeong, we are One to Sarang.
Your next favorite Hallyu podcast.
We talk K-drama.
Mandaming kilig every time
Oh my
we
God.
get K-drama.
We also talk K-pop.
Yung feeling ko sa 17 na they bring me so much happiness.
And we live to entertain.
What you gonna do when Dicky steak in front of
Check us out now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Also on YouTube. Join us sa Tawanan at Kwentuhan from One to Sarang.
Hey everyone, this is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice DJ Yuki.
That was the OG, Mo Twister, promoting this podcast. If you like Korean pop culture, or know someone who does, then get into it, and visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at the Kingdom Pod PH.
We're proud to tell you that this is one of the premier shows to go to for your weekly dose of K-pop. So drop everything and listen to the Kingdom Podcast. Available in all your podcast streaming platforms.
Join us!
Picture this. Two guys talking about true crime,
weird mysteries,
horror stories.
But the conversation is light,
mostly funny.
And sometimes naughty.
This is Scriptsalog.
a Spotify exclusive.
I'm Gideon.
And I'm Glenn, and we're serving huge portions of horror and true crime twice a week.
We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied.
And you'll be begging for more.
Char.
Check us out.
This is Scriptsalog, available exclusively on Spotify.
Okay. Ayan, pasensya na. Medyo bakain ako while we're recording. And it's very normal to me. Okay. Let's continue with All Out. Like what I did on Payback, we're not going to do a... Tawag dito? We're not going to do a long review of it. Kasi medyo boring. Bigyan ko na lang kayo ng points of this, okay? So, tawag dito. Wait lang, may nahanap ako. Ano ba yan? Okay, so welcome back to the podcast. Let's start with the recap for WWE, I mean AEW Collision and AEW Collision. Ayun, let's start with AEW All Out. So before we continue on All Out, always please follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms. Facebook, X, sa Twitch, sa Thread, sa TikTok, tsaka sa lahat ng social media ng podcast. You can follow the show at the MTG Show Pod. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/the MTG Show Podcast. Ayan. Yun lang. Okay. So let's do the recap of everything what happened on the show. Okay. So number 1, na Hangman Page won a Battle Royale over budget charity Battle Royale. It was noted that binigay ito sa isang charity. Yeah, I'm not going to disclose the charity since di naman ginagawa din disclose yan. Then Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue defeated Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante by a pinfall. Then The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn with Dennis Rodman defeated Jeff Jarrett, Saddam Singh, and Jay Lethal. It's kind of sad that we're getting this on the kickoff. That was a pretty solid match if you ask me. Okay. So, better than you, baby. Adam Cole and MJF defeated the Dark Order. That was a really solid one. Pero yung in a way na nakakatawa. Hindi naman sobrang bagot. Then ito, may history dito mo, may pag-usapan natin to. Samoa Joe defeated Shane Taylor for the ROH TV title. Ayun, Luchasaurus defeated Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. Miro defeated Powerhouse Hobbs by submission. Chris Statlander defeated Robbie Soho for the TBS title. Then Bryan Danielson defeated Ricky Starks. A strap match. Before naman to, no DQ. But may no DQ dito. Okay. Then Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta defeated Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata in a tag match. Then Konosuke Takeshita defeated Kenny Omega by pinfall for the Then BCC Gold defeated FTR and Young Bucks, and John Moxley defeated Orange Cassidy for the AEW International Championship. Okay, let's start with this main event first. I have to remove my mic na, so therefore I can process this shit. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Galing ko talaga man distraction dito ng gamit no. Pero yan. Let's start with John Moxley beating Orange Cassidy. This is no surprise, no brainer as well happening. They want to recover from the CM Punk disaster. And I think this is the way they are doing the same thing since last year. And they're doing it again, so which is a good thing to me. Ayan. So, John Moxley defeated Orange Cassidy in a literally the most one-sided match in AEW. Yes, in a way, si Oryx naman nakakabawi. Pero this is their version of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar in 2014. Yes, si Orange Cassidy was booked better than Cena that night. Definitely. Pero feeling ko kasi, itong match na to, on side by side with that, I can pick this better. Kasi mas maganda yung pagka-domination ni John Moxley dito. Pero yun, I'm expecting really big on this. And yeah, we get the perfect finale o final. Medyo deserving din naman sila na mag-main event kasi wala naman talaga yung main event. Walang AEW champion defending that night. Wala rin ROH World Champion since forgettable naman yung Randy Claudio. At wala rin yung women's champion natin. So therefore, we have to process this thing like a piece of shit. Or kaya yung kina Kenny at kay Konosuke Takeshita, maintindihan ko rin kung yun yung nag-main event. Medyo anticlimactic kasi yung main event na yun. But yeah, Moxley defeating Orange Cassidy is no surprise to me. And anong pa tawag dito? It's a really good match. It's like a one-sided Cena match with Brock 2014. But I think they booked this better over that. Then ito, FTR and Young Bucks, they're trying to be on the same page against Bullet Club Gold. Medyo nabibuisit lang ako in a way on how they're booking this kind of matches na like mag-coexist ba sila, parang na-off ako sa mga kanyang build in a way. Pero yeah, it was a really solid match. BCG definitely needed the win here. Yeah, that was a solid one. Di ko na kailangan masyado elaborate sa inyo. Okay. Konosuke Takeshita beating Kenny Omega is definitely the most unexpected way here. Because he won at all in. Nanalo siya ng all in. So medyo ang expectation ko dun is might Kenny to do some revenge tas Grand Slam ang last match. Pero parang iba yung case. Like, si Konosuke beating Kenny twice. It's just not an AEW story or writing to me. Parang it's a WWE writing to me. But yeah, Konosuke Takeshita Kenny Omega match was really good. You should watch it as well, guys. Kung manonood pa rin kayo ng All Out ngayon. This match is definitely a solid one. Yeah. Then ito, BCC defeating Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata. That was a solid one. Ito solid one din to, but not solid as the two matches in between of this. Mas solid pa rin yung dalawa na yun. Mamaya we'll talk about that. But this match was really solid. If you're going to ask me. Then, Bryan Danielson beating Ricky Starks by technical submission, no DQ strap match. Is easily one of the best matches of Bryan Danielson's AEW title run or AEW run. And tawag dito, Ricky Starks definitely ito na yung parang flowers niya sa tingin ko, nakuha niya na yung matinding flowers niya dito after this match, which is a good thing. And since pwede ko na rin i-mention na si Bryan Danielson kasi, he mentioned that possibly ito na yung last year niya sa wrestling. Sinabi niya kasi sa promo niya sa Collision na pag nag-7 na si Birdie, possibly na mag-lay down na siya, mag-slow down na siya sa wrestling. Pero as I mentioned, Sports Illustrated mentioned in the report that si Danielson mas mapapadala siya backstage and as a main attraction or special attraction. So, ganun yung magiging role niya sa AEW once his full-time role as a wrestler elapsed, no? Pero yeah, ito match na to sa tingin ko, parang naging flowers talaga to kay Ricky Starks and in a way, parang nagsemento sa kanya as a solid star and a star in the making. And si Bryan Danielson, definitely one of the guys na reliable talaga when it comes to putting someone over kahit mananalo pa siya. And that's a really good thing for BD as well. Krista Thunder beating Ruby Soho. Wala akong expectation dito. I have no big expectations on this. But regardless, it was a really good one to me. Sakto lang. Sakto lang. Ito so Miro beating Powerhouse Hobbs. It's like a meat shop slapping meats here. That was a really good one. And then, that was a really good one. Lana, also known as CJ Perry. Puta ka na, nasasamid ako. CJ Perry made his AEW debut here. Yun na nga. CJ Perry made her first AEW appearance here. So, yun, debut yun. And, ba't kaya walang banner? Napakaisip ko, ba't walang banner si CJ Perry? Kaya wala ng banner sa AEW pag debuts. Sana masabihan niyo ako kung meron parang ganun. I wish you guys can tell me about that. Pero typically pag debut, alam ko maglalagay talaga sila. Sana di lang to one time off. No? Pero yun, Miro beating Powerhouse Hobbs in a big E-way, meat slapping meat, which is a good thing. Luchasaurus beating Darby Allin. Putang ina pre. Alam mo yung match na to, sobrang disastrous in a way. Napiling mo si Darby din naabot ng 30s niya. Tapos si Christian Cage pa rin yung nag-aambisyon na siya pa rin yung TNT champion. Pero in a way, I really love this Christian Cage run. It's very desperate to him and it was really good. Luchasaurus on the other hand, parang okay lang sa kanya na ginagago siya. Parang binabacktab siya. Pero yun, Luchasaurus, Darby Allin, it's kind of too much. Ayun, Samoa Joe beating Shane Taylor. Hindi ko na kailangan i-tackle ito. Let's tackle the happenings before that. MJF versus Samoa Joe. May history sila sa NXT. Doon sa pagbangga ni Joe kay MJF pag-ampas na sa pader. And ayun, history. Sabihan ko kayo dito, bigyan ko kayo ng expectation dito. Itong feud na to, kung gusto niyo sa akin ilapit tong feud na to, ito lang yung feud na kaya kong palagpasin na puro mention sa WWE. Kasi yung iba, nag-mention lang nag-shoot lang sa WWE, sobrang meme. Itong dalawa, alam ko, nag-WWE talaga. And Samoa Joe is heavily mentioning WWE in the programming. Which is a good thing. Kasi para lang malaman din talaga ng lahat yung history niya sa Fed. And hindi naman siya na-mistreat ng WWE. So it's kind of a good thing to me that they are giving Samoa Joe permission to name drop WWE full. Same with MJF. MJF understandable naman. May history din siya with Joe and also WWE. So good thing naman siya sa akin. It's a good thing. Pero binuburo pa rin nila yung feud. Mamaya titirigan natin yung update sa Grand Slam tournament. Mamaya titigan natin yung mga nangyayari sa Grand Slam tournament. So therefore, hindi kayo maiiwan. Recap na lang natin lahat ng shows siguro. Pero yun ito. Adam Cole and MJF, they're really solid right now. MJF is kinda turning babyface. Pero hindi pa rin confusing. Pero confusing pa rin siya sa akin. He's the AEW World Champion. He's holding the ring. And he's the ROH Champion, Tag Team Champions with Adam Cole. Yes, in a way, medyo confusing siya. Pero in the same way, medyo napapaisip din ako why they're still dealing with this ring. And what they're still dealing with this BS, man. Pero ayun, tawag dito. MJF, ito medyo, Pero I don't know, MJF is now a face. Clear face na siya. Oo, parang medyo klaro na siyang face. Ayun, medyo klarong face na siya. Medyo mas malala na yung face turn nila. Pero ewan. Parang wala pa rin ako talagang tiwala kay MJF dito. Down the line. Wala pa rin talaga. Kung may pangalan na hindi ako pagkatiwalaan, kung hindi si BBM, ay. Siguro si MJF talaga. Wala akong tiwala pag sa mga ganitong run. I wish na gandahan lang nila yung run niya down the line when it comes to this babyface. Pag maganda yung buong run na to, sa tingin ko ang magiging ano ko dito, tao dito. Sa tingin ko dito, MJF can work out all. Siguro mag-work out siya sa as a face, as a heel. Siguro grade natin pag medyo laylaw na yung run na to ni MJF. Kung maganda ba yung run niya. Pero sa akin naman maganda naman so far. Sobrang sobrang tao dito. Sobrang iba kasi yung chemistry nila Adam Cole at MJF. And ayan, ganda na yung face turn niya eh. Solid eh. And ayun. Iba talaga, iba yung chemistry niya sa Mojo. Just there, I think they're really good at it. When it comes to face ops, ganyan. Ayun. Ayun lang naman. So, I think ito na rin yung end ng review ko sa All Out. Bigyan ko na lang kayo ng heads up kasi number 1, Top Go TV is no longer airing AEW shows. So, medyo bummer siya sa akin. Ang hirap humanap ng stream aside sa fight. Sa fight kasi medyo nagbago na rin yung interface nila. At nagbago na rin yung format nila. When it comes to shows, kasi wala na rin silang credits. At wala na rin silang dito. Hindi na rin sila nag-credits talaga. So, you have to pay 1,100 for AEW pay-per-views moving forward. Hindi na rin sila nag-air sa Top Go. So, Top Go sana will be a game changer sa mga ganitong bagay. Pero wala eh. Hindi na sila may hawak ng rights. Sa banting to think, si Max, hindi pa rin nila hawak yung deal kay AEW. So, you have to think about that. Pina-process pa nila yung deal with AEW. So, maybe things will be processed in their ends and things will be processed in our favors naman in our respective ways. No? Pero yun, All Out is done. WWE Payback is done. We are now few weeks away from one of the biggest wrestling weeks in this era. October is a wrestling month since magkakaroon ng mga season premiere dyan typically. And meron ding mga events pa before we end the month. So first is No Mercy. Then yung Wrestle Dream by AEW. Then on October 7, 8, yun yung WWE Fastlane. We'll talk about that in a later date. Ayun, so marami mangyayari. Then pag-usapan na rin natin later on yung mga bagay-bagay na syempre medyo tawag dito, medyo iba sa akin yun eh. Yung mga ganitong bagay, mga ganitong shit, o yung mga ganitong stuff, no? Para let's do some recap sa mga nangyari sa wrestling. Kasi gustong gusto kong ipag-usapan yung SmackDown earlier this week. Just few days ago. Yung SmackDown, alam nyo, medyo iba yung nakaka-off. Yung ito, di naman kailangan panoorin ng buo. Pero ito, SmackDown to. Umiikot sa dalawang bagay. Judgment Day and Bloodline. So start tayo with Judgment Day thing here. They're teasing that Jimmy Uso is now joining the Bloodline again. Without Roman Reigns' presence, parang medyo off. Parang may mali. Parang may impression na, ba't may mali? Ganon yung impression ko. Pero yun, we'll get that story down the line. We might get things down the line. And sana maging align na this time. Mga katarantaduan ng Bloodline. Pero good thing naman na medyo napagsasama nila yung Bloodline tsaka ng dito. Wait lang. Tingnan ko nga kung anong date. Wait lang. Medyo good thing sa akin na Jimmy Uso is joining the Bloodline again. Ang weird din to me. na tawag dito. Ang weird din to me, medyo ang confusing kasi na ba't niyo pinagsasama yung Bloodline at JD? Pero yun, tawag dito, sige na, bigyan na nga natin ng medyo, ano, they are parang, wait lang. Try ko inisip yung start ko dito. Judgment Day, they're understandable naman na bakit na-judge sila. Since they're the tag champs, the OC, nowhere to be found. Ang gusto ko lang sabihin dito, AJ and ang confusing kasi nang binibuild nila story ngayon sa Bloodline. Si Jimmy, he wants to join the Bloodline back. Pero Sowalo Sikoa seems to be na ayaw niya nang isali si Jimmy para siyang tiwala. And medyo may partnerships na rin in a way si Bloodline kay Judgment Day. So medyo magiging interesting siya down the line, no? And then ang weird din to me na wala yung OC, hindi siya magana makita sa side ni AJ. And medyo may dissension na rin yung OC kay AJ. Siguro they have to introduce more baby faces sa brand or sa show. So maybe medyo pinapakitaan talaga na ng dissension o nagtitis sila ng dissension between the OC and Good Brothers. Ayun, basta anytime magto-turn talaga sila kay AJ dito. And yung return kasi ni Jay, ayaw ko may opinion ha. Parang ang labo in a way at ang weak din in a way. Number one, bakit nga ba ang labo? Kasi you said that you betrayed the Bloodline and now you're trying to get them back. Siguro ba dahil ng influence, dahil ba ng pera, or dahil ba ni Roman, o dahil ba gusto mo mapabalik kay Jay? Parang ang desperate naman. And ang weak din naman, yung character build niya as a solo, di ba nawala si Jay? Parang in a way na nasisira rin yung credibility ng character ni Jimmy Uso when it comes to that. And it's kinda off to me. No? Then, tuloy natin. Medyo ang gusto ko i-notice to yung stable na Judgment Day, faced off Lashley's stable na heel din, na pero umaakto rin na baby faces. Medyo confusing siya in a way na WWE narrative, no? Si Lashley naman nag-agree din naman na Bloodline is crumbling, na komportable naman talaga yung WWE. And Bloodline as the Street Profits, sila yung sorry, parang mag-agree ako na sila yung magsisave nung gap na nawala ng Judgment ng Bloodline sa SmackDown. So yeah, they're trying to do it on Judgment Day sa Raw, pero sa SmackDown mas malala, no? Okay, continue na natin yung mga medyo di naman ganong kalalaan. Wait. So yun, may partnership na si Austin Theory at Grayson Waller. Hindi siya one time off, which is a good thing. Tawag dito. Ang ganda nito. Ang ganda ng partnership nila. Like, they're working out. And understand then why we're working out on both of them. And wag kayong umasa masyado ha. Wag kayong umasa masyado ng Roman versus LA Knight. Masyado kasi kayong maasa eh. Parang napapasa yung Sami Zayn curse kay LA Knight. And you guys are kissing asses too. Parang ganyan. Gusto nyo na, gusto namin maging champion sa LA Knight. Gusto namin maging champion sa LA Knight. Ibo-boycott natin ang WWE pag hindi pa rin siya naging champion. Assholes. Shut the fuck up. Hindi ako seryoso sa warning na yun in a way. Pero I have to warn you guys up. If this thing will happen down the line, I'm going to set your expectations. shut the fuck up. Hindi mananalo si LA Knight dito. Let's face it. Kahit over pa yan, ano nangyari kay Sammy? Over ba yan? Naging over, di ba? Naging champion ba? Hindi. Cody is the only one who is eligible to be champion at this point. If there's other one, it's solo Sikoa. And it's not Cody. Or it's not Gunter. It's not what I call this. It's not LA Knight either. Or it's not even Sami Zayn, definitely. Pero, in a way, people should acknowledge. People will understand naman that. No? Then, finally, Io Sky, Shotzi and Charlotte defeated Damage Control, and Io Sky is teasing and Asuka teasing a match for the SmackDown Women's title, which is what we set in 2 weeks for the match. Pero ito medyo ewan ko parang ang strange siya Shotzi. They're trying to put a win streak. Pero ang one-sided kasi ng feud niya versus BD, kaya disappointed din to me. Yun. Pero ang daming disaster na nangyayari sa feud na to. Medyo na-upset pa ako. In a way, na, bahala kayo dyan. Gusto ko na rin ikutin tong aking pick of the week sa match, yung Raw this week. Gunter versus Chad Gable. According to Fightful Select, tawag dito. According to Fightful Select, tawag dito. Nakalimutan ko yung pangalan ni Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan is the one who produced the main event. So, pag-usapan natin specifically the main event itself. So, Gable versus Gunter, just a fucking great match. And yung detail din na wala yung mga stablemates nila sa Imperium and Alpha Academy made this match more special. Yung pucha, at this point gusto ko na nga panoorin, sana i-release din ng WWE in full tong match nila, so that will be great for me to WWE na i-release din nila to in full, but it's not gonna happen. Pero ayun, Gunter versus Chad Gable, pick up the week natin sa match, definitely. That was a solid match. Mamaya mag-mention nga tayo ng lahat, no? Basta ang solid, sobrang solid. You need to watch it. Taste the note pa on this week. Wala naman. Basta sasabihin ko lang si Shayna and si Zoe Stark are now teasing a tag team thing. Parang ganun ba? Parang may ganun sila na impression or gagawin kay Zoe after nitong run niya kay Trish Stratus. So it might be a thing to them again. Lalo na parang naglalaylo na yung feud, yung problem ni Chelsea Green sa kawalan ng tag team partners. Pero yan, tapos sa solid one. Then, tao dito. Yun lang naman, aside dun sa promo ni Jey Uso, wala naman tayo kailangan i-note dito. So, NXT, let's talk about to NXT now. So, NXT, excuse me. Tiffany Stratton is fighting Becky Lynch next week. If we forgot to mention our payback review, first half, that we might to get Trish. I always resembling Tiffany on Trish kasi kasing hot niya rin si Trish in her prime. In a way na everyone is jerking on Trish during the prime. Tiffany is getting the same, no? So, ganun lang naman. Medyo na may misinterpret ko si Trish. Si Tiffany as Trish. Pero going back, Tiffany Stratton will fight Trish at Becky Lynch next week. This week on NXT. So, yeah. Marami tayong pwedeng i-note dito. And malalaman din naman natin sino yung mananalo doon. And marami kasing things na pwedeng gawin pa o pwede ba naman nangyari. Basta yan. Gusto ko lang sabihin, Tiffany versus Kiana James. I think there was a short match, but I'm not that expecting a lot. But Tiffany improving every day on the ring, on the mic, on everything. The presentation of Tiffany Stratton was just so good. And I wish down the line, Tiffany will get her flowers. And definitely this match will cement her more as a solid superstar in the WWE. Imagine Becky Lynch losing to Tiffany Stratton. Would be give flowers more on Tiffany Stratton, no? Yun na nga, challenge na nga ni Becky si Tiffany for the match. And yun na nga, main event for this week's NXT. Kind of sad for me if this will be the end of the Tiffany era. At the same time, medyo matutuwa rin ako kasi Becky Lynch is one title away from a Grand Slam. So, struggle na lang. And alam niyo naman si WWE gusto nila na tawag dito. Ang gusto kasi nila dito, ano bang tawag dito? Parang ang gusto kasi nila dito, mas mapapanood pa yung NXT kasi nagpapasok sila ng mga main stars. Ganun yung gusto nilang gawin. And that's why we're thinking about that, no? Ayun lang naman. So that's why not that respecting na Tiffany might lose the belt or maybe ano ba tawag dito? Tiffany might lose the belt or Becky putting Tiffany over. Mas malala. Mas maganda yun. Mas maganda naman talaga yun. Pero mamaya recap natin yung tournament na ginagawa ngayon ng NXT. Pag-usapan, pero doon tayo mag-focus sa ano ba to? Sa feud nila Braun Breaker and Von Wagner. Man, holy fuck. Like, holy hell. Like, putangin. This is just disastrous as hell. Ayun. So, tawag dito, dami nang nangyari. Di talaga magandang pangyayari dito sa match to. They have to cut the feed ng NXT. I wish though na Von is fine after that. Sana selling lang ito. Sana maganda lang din yung pag-assault ni Braun Breaker. Maganda naman yung execution ng main event. Braun Wagner. Yeah. Hindi naman, sayang nga rin sa akin na hindi nanalo si Von. Pero Breaker kasi parang in a way they're building Braun more sa main roster. Pero yeah, yun. Pero definitely, di pa siya tapos. Corbin. Ang weird talaga. Okay. So, ito yung build-up show. They're trying to build this shit as the biggest show of NXT. And ang weird din to me that they're saying this show is they're saying na ito na daw yung biggest show ng NXT. They're mentioning this is the biggest show of NXT. This is the biggest show of NXT. Nah, not on my watch. Okay. So, recap nga natin itong tournament ng NXT ngayon. Ito yung kanilang tawag dito. Wait lang. I'm trying to search this thing up. And ayun na. So, magkakaroon sila ng ano ba to? Nagkaroon sila ng tournament. There's a tournament right now in WWE where they're holding this tournament where cup to parang Heritage Cup in a way na ayan, sige na nga, yun na nga sa tournament. So yun, meron silang Global Heritage Invitational. So far, here's the standings for the tournament. It's a 4-man tournament. Oh. So, Butch has 3 points, Axiom has 1 point, Charlie Dempsey 0, Tyler Bate is 0. Then, on the other brackets is Joe Coffey, 4 points, Doc Hudson, 2 points, Lita Bracer, 2 points, Akira Tozawa, 0. Finals ito is September 26 and ang tournament will take place, the match will take place NXT No Mercy. So, Noam Dar versus the Global Cup winner. Yun. So the match was announced as well. A match between Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov or Wesley. And finally, Dirty Dom versus Mustafa Ali. Yun. So it's also to take note that this will be the first premium live event na ipoproduce under TKO na minerge between WWE and UFC. And it will affect starting September 12. So, development yan na mag-uumpisa na siya ng September 12. Part ito ng Endeavor Group Endeavor Group siya. And yeah, so Endeavor is 51, WWE is 49%. And wala namang pagbabago masyado. Si Nick Khan is president of the WWE and si Dana White will be president of UFC pa din. So majority ngayon, ang mangyayari ngayon is parang ano ba tawag dito? Yeah, si Ari Emanuel na ang CEO ng dalawang companies. Pero si Mark Shapiro din ay COO. Si Emmanuel hindi rin hahawak ng roles sa WWE o UFC. Pero Nick Khan is the president of WWE moving forward. Si Vince, executive chairman of this new entity. And yung company will be the first time na hindi WWE may hawak. Pero yun, assets nila, WWE, yun, then UFC, asset din nila yun. Maraming assets si WWE. So parang lahat ng assets nila hawak na nila. I wish though na tawag dito. This time around magkaroon ng isang solid na streaming service o kailangan na maayos yung streaming service ni WWE. They need to fix it at some point. Tong streaming service ni WWE. Medyo same na din yung UI ni UFC. I'm trying to check the UI ni UFC Fight Pass. Siguro tatry nga natin. Mamaya, siguro parang gusto ko din na mapaggawa-gawa nila yung mga process na yan. Sige, pag-isipan natin down the line. Pero yun, si UFC Fight Pass kasi iba na rin yung UI nila. No? And medyo mas simple yung kanilang UI. Pero yun, sige. Availability, yun, wala nang pagbabago. Ano ba kayo? Pero na balita natin ngayon is UK will be the next na hahawak ng mawawalan ng WWE network. So we will keep an eye on that. Okay, so tingin pa tayo ng mga balita na pwede pa natin mapag-usapan while we're trying to end kinda the show. So, we're trying to check. Ayun, so ayun lang naman, speaking of 1K episodes na nga pala ng Impact Wrestling. So, per PW Insider, it will be 2-parters. Yes, it will be 2 parts. Wait lang, ano ba yun? Kung makita yung screen ko. So, yun, it will be 2-parter. And, antok na ako. It will be 2 parts. Ano ba tawag dito? Ayun, according to PW Insider, magiging 2-parter daw yung feud na yun. Yung match na yun. So, yeah, we're looking forward for that. And Tiffany Stratton, yeah, as we said earlier, she will fight Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship. And yeah, we can't wait for this match to happen, and we cannot wait to see kung naman yung magiging fate ni Tiffany after this. Yeah. Yan lang. Pero ayun, yun lang naman. To me, you're on the show. Kung may, wait lang, iti-try natin in-notes. Mag-denote pa tayo. We're trying to check just some notes here. Ano ba iti-try natin in-note dito? Basta yun, Impact 1000 will be aired in 2 parts. And yung AEW pala, nakalimutan ko yung take note sa inyo. Meron din silang tournament right now that they are having this Owen Cup. Tao dito. Owen Cup. Bakit na ako si Owen Cup? Shit. Basta yun, meron din silang Grand Slam tournament ngayon. Wait lang, tingnan yan natin. Ano ba to? So, may tournament sila ngayon sa AEW. Ito yung Grand Slam tournament din na mag-e-end din sa Grand Slam. Pero sige, take note na rin natin, sabihin na rin natin na Bryan Danielson, magkakaroon na siya ng limited roles after nito. Then, upo nga mo ito ko. Tangay nang tatay na ako. Pero Bryan Danielson set to fight Zack Sabre Jr. at Wrestle Dream. And we're trying to look at the brackets ng Grand Slam. So, ano pa yan? Ayun, AEW Grand Slam. We're trying to look at it now. So, yeah, we got it. So, ang gagawin daw nila dito, they're going to air, what do I call this? 2 hours of Grand Slam Dynamite, 2 hours of Dynamite, Grand Slam Rampage, 2 hours then as usual. And ayun, we're trying to look at it now. And yeah, we lang. Teka lang. So yun, we're having a tournament. So si MJF pala, he's set to defend the title. I never know about this. Akala ko ang defense ni MJF is after nito. No. Okay. So the finals for the Grand Slam tournament, magaganapin siya sa Dynamite this week, is Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe. Ayun, so the tournament semis was Darby versus Strong, with Strong beating Darby, and Samoa Joe was defeated by Penta. Samoa Joe defeated Penta L0. So yun. The other matches of the card is MJF, who defend the title against whoever will win the tournament. Zaraya set to defend the title in a match as well. In-announce na kasi yung mga kalaban niya, Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, Nyla Rose, and Toni Storm. And then Jericho and Sami, they're set to fight as well for the walang stake, parang hindi want to fight lang. Mema. Then Claudio versus Eddie Kingston, they're going to fight for both ROH World Title and the Strong Openweight Title. So yeah, kung may mga dadagdag man, we will let you guys know. Utal-utal na ako. So let's finish this. This podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and the rest of the podcast platforms, and on the podcast app. Let's do the picks of the week before we officially close the show. Woman of the week is definitely medyo self-explanatory siya. Pero I gave it to Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton, she deserves all the flowers while she's getting the flowers. But Tiffany is definitely deserving for this. She earned the respect. She earned everything from the company, and I think how they're presenting Tiffany is just amazing to me. Our superstar of the week this week for the men is definitely Gunter. Gunter, man, just amazing. Kung meron ako bibigyan sa AEW, definitely Jon Moxley this week. Yan. Then, match of the week, syempre, yung Steel Cage, na Trish Stratus Payback, yung Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, tsaka yung strap match from All Out, tsaka yung sa Raw na Gunter versus Chad Gable. Yun. Mga matches that you should take off. So, yan lang naman. Follow the podcast and all of the socials at the MTG Show Podcast or the MT Show Pod. Please follow the Bunk Collective as well, the Bunk PH. Ayan, follow nyo yung Bunk sa lahat ng socials ni Bunk. Ayan. Tsaka, invite ko na rin kayo. Siyempre, 3 shows yung mag-premiere starting today since we're recording now on a Monday. MWF, Action Abela TV, Road to Fate, they're all going to air the first part of it sa Rock of Manila. Then, syempre, yung Dexcon, yung mga friends natin from Dexcon, mga friends natin from Fight Sport Manila, K-Fib Cafe, Channel 14, and the other more affiliates of the Dexcon. I-air na rin nila yung World Underground Wrestling presents Dexcon. Meron na silang BOD. We're going to put the details on it on our podcast social media platforms. We're going to up it. And ayun, so may details na sila kung paano nyo makukuha yung video on demand. Ako probably I'm going to get it pag sumahod ako. So yeah. And then baba. Ayun, makukuha nyo naman din yon same day pag meron na kayong VOD nun. And then ano pa ba? Ano pa nga bang gusto kong gawin? Wait lang. Nagtatry pa ako mag-plug eh. FPW Astig will be aired as well on YouTube. Kung gusto niyo manood ng FPW Astig. Syempre, ito, hindi ko papalagpasin to, first episode. Pero, expect na rin ninyo na hindi ako magiging bias dun sa FPW. Ayun, by the way, as you speak right now, as you listen right now to the show, probably na-up ko na rin yung episode previewing MWF Road to Fate for our friends who's watching via Rock of Manila. That episode is for you. We'll upload that as well after this episode. So, gusto nyo pakinggan ito, pakinggan nyo na. Then after of that, pakinggan nyo na rin. Okay, so again, follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, and the rest of the podcast platforms. And then, please support Bang Collective as well on the podcast platforms at the Bang PH, the MPH Show Pod here on the podcast. And ayun lang naman. Then, please listen to the show and the MWF Road to Fate preview that I recorded from the circuit day before the Road to Fate itself, PLE of show. Ano pa? Ano pa ipa-plug sa atin? So, yun lang naman. Gusto nyo panoorin yung tatlong companies, wala mapipigil sa inyo. And yun lang naman. So, don't forget to stay safe, stay reso. Wala na ako sa wisyo. Hindi ko na alam po yung mga pinagkasabi ko. And then, always ingat kayo. Umuulan na naman. Ayun, nabasa na nga yung unang coffee visit. And ayun, ingat kayo palagi. And see you on the next episode. Bye-bye for now.
Please rate the podcast 5 stars 6 in Tokyo Dome on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We are Bunk Collective.